Hello everybody, this is Joshua Cook back here on my YouTube channel. Joshua Cook's HR&R, YouTube's new alternative. And it's time again for my Y&R review and recap for the month of October. And today is in fact Halloween, so I want to wish all of you a very happy Halloween. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have any trick-or-treaters come to the house tonight because it might, because the weather reports we've been getting say it might rain tonight for Halloween, so we're not going to have wet trick-or-treaters. So sadly, it's not going to happen this year. I do plan on watching some horror flicks tonight for Halloween. I might watch Silver Bullet and It. Yeah, I have those over there. I might watch one of them tonight for Halloween. So, with that said, let's get into what's been going on this past month on Y&R. I guess the big issue is, of course, dealing with this AI that Kane has or did have, because he had it stolen. And Phyllis has stolen the AI, which Kane was going to use for targeting the big companies in Genoa City, like Newman Enterprises and Newman Media, and of course Jabot and their other company, Marchetti. So Kane was going to use that to target those companies, but unfortunately his AI got stolen by Phyllis. And Phyllis is pointing the finger at Victor. Excuse me. Yeah, Phyllis is pointing the finger at Victor, saying that he is the one who stole it, but in all actuality it was Phyllis, because it's part of Kane and Phyllis's plan to frame Victor. And all the while, Jack and Victor are still at war against one another over this whole AI. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out in November. November sweeps actually starts today. So yeah, I would thought it would start Monday, but it really starts today. So excuse me. Yeah, it starts to November sweep starts today, and this is where all the soaps have their big storylines for for their shows, have big plans for a lot of the storylines on their shows, and of course Y&R has plenty, which I'll get to here. But yeah, I wonder how Victor's going to react to being framed by Kane and Phyllis once he finds out that that it was actually Phyllis who stole it and not him. So, also, Billy had a run-in with Adam, who told him to leave town because his company, the company that Billy and Sally are trying to start, Adam thinks is not going to be successful, and Adam took shots at not just Billy but also Diane too, and like I said, Billy didn't like that, so he punched Adam while Chelsea was watching. So I'm sure Chelsea wasn't very thrilled with Adam trying to poke at Billy. So yeah, that was quite the scene over there with those two. Also, unfortunately for Kyle, unfortunately he and Claire are not together. Claire left for Los Angeles to visit Holden, and Kyle isn't happy about that. He still is trying to get back together with Claire after Claire repeatedly telling Kyle that she wants some space for after that botched marriage proposal, or it backfired, I should say. It didn't botch. It backfired on him. So Kyle saw Claire with Holden, and like I said, he is not very happy about that. So it's pretty safe to say that those two are done. Especially next week, when Claire and Holden, spend the night over in LA. So, you know what I mean when I say spend the night. It's pretty obvious that they're gonna, F-U-C-K. That's all I'm gonna say. So, and Kyle is gonna get pissed. Real pissed. So pissed that he might go back to Audra. Why? But, oh well. But, I say why because the first time those two tried to be together, let's just say it didn't go so well. So, but we'll see what happens. Well, now to the major thing in my view. Mariah and Tessa. Mariah's in a mental health center in Boston after what she tried to do to some old guy, which turns out, because Tessa and Daniel have been doing some digging, it turns out that this guy that Mariah got involved with, got in the altercation with, I should say, is in fact a associate of the late Ian Ward. I'm shocked, honestly, when I heard that. So, Tessa went with Daniel, and they talked about, they talked to all those who were there when Mariah and this old guy went to his hotel room, and Mariah almost killed the guy after having some drinks, and the guy tried to make a move on Mariah, but she rebuffed him, and then she took a pillow and almost smothered him to death. So now, like I said, Mariah is in a mental health place in Boston, trying to get help, I guess. Tessa did see Mariah over at the mental health center. And Tessa thinks that the mental health center isn't helping her. In fact, it's helping her get worse. So Tessa tried to get Mariah out of there and send her to a place close to home. Excuse me again. Tessa tried to get Mariah out of that mental health place so that she could be at a facility close to home where she can visit Tessa and Arya, but Mariah refused, and Tessa wasn't very happy with it. So once Tessa and Daniel came back to Genoa City, Tessa and Daniel got drunk and almost hooked up. Yeah, Tessa and Daniel kissed. Yeah, I like I said before, I am not a fan of Tessa and Daniel as a couple. Tessa and Daniel are friends. That's all it should be. So, yeah, they pretty much said that the kiss should not have happened, but it did. So they're just stick to just being friends. So, yeah, if those two would have hooked up, I would have just flipped out and said, "What? Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now?" That's what I would have said. But yeah, that was the whole the whole thing after the kiss was a dream sequence where they were interrupted by a cop saying that she had a warrant for Mariah's arrest for attempted murder on the guy. So, I don't... Tessa might have gotten a glimpse into the future. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens, but I certainly hope Mariah gets better. Speaking of Mariah, she had a run-in with the ghost of Ian Ward after she saw Tessa. After Mariah saw Tessa, she got a little visit from the ghost of Ian Ward. And obviously Mariah wasn't very happy to see Mr. Ward. So, yeah. Like I said, I'm curious as to see what's going to happen with Mariah and Tessa moving forward. Hopefully she will get better, and she and Tessa will be back together. That is, if Tessa and Daniel don't hook up again. But like I said, I am not a fan of Tessa and Daniel as a couple. If they're just friends, then I'm cool with that. I mean, I know that they're good. Tessa's gonna perform a new song, or Tessa's helped Daniel play the guitar, and they came up with a song that Tessa's gonna perform at Danny and Christine's wedding. Yeah, Phyllis is not very happy with those two getting married. So she made her feelings abundantly clear when she saw those two. So, also, Nick and Sharon were also in LA. They were planning to see Noah because he was trying to open up a new nightclub in Los Angeles, but he got in an accident. And they ran into Nick and Sharon ran into a shady detective with the LAPD. So it'll be interesting to see how those two react or interact with this shady cop. And also, there are some new. Speaking of LA, there's some new characters that are going to be part of the show. Sienna and Mitch Bacall. Tamron Braun plays Sienna. Of course, Tamron was on General Hospital as one of the three actresses that played Carly Corinthos. Of course, there was Sarah Joy Brown, and then Tamron Braun, and now Laura Wright, who is still on GH as Carly Corinthos. So Tamron Braun is Sienna Bacall, who is a friend of Holden. And of course, Mitch McCall, who, speaking of Sharon, uh, she's gonna, next week, she's gonna have a run-in with Mitch McCall, but he is actually Matt Clark. Sharon used to have, excuse me, Sharon was unfortunately raped by Mr. Clark, who is now living under a new name. Like I said, his name is Mitch McCall. And Nick is not going to be very happy when he sees him. So, yeah, and there's a new guy that is playing Noah. I believe his name is Lucas Brown. I believe that's his name. He used to be on Days of Our Lives. If I may be wrong on that, but if anybody knows, I think that's Lucas Brown. I think that's his name. If I'm wrong, you can correct me in the comments. So, but yes, he is the new Noah. So we will see what happens with those guys. Noah's gonna had some injuries on his face, so they're gonna take the bandages off him next week. So, and like I said, Sienna and Mitch McCall are gonna be a part of the show. Tamara Braun and the guy who plays Matt Clark / Mitch McCall, Roger Howarth. He used to be on As the World Turns. Then he was on One Life to Live, and then he was also on General Hospital. I mainly saw Roger in As the World Turns and One Life to Live, but I liked him on As the World Turns. So, if I'm being honest. So, that's pretty much all the big things that have happened during the month of October on Y&R, and now we're going to go into November sweeps. So we will see how things shape up with a lot of folks, with Victor being blamed, quote unquote, for stealing Kane's AI, but really it's a plan with Kane and Phyllis, because Phyllis is the one who actually stole it. Victor doesn't know it yet. So we'll see how that goes. And what about, Kyle and Claire and Holden, and of course Audra. Kyle might get back with Audra, or he might not. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. And of course, like I said, Mariah, Tessa. Hopefully, Mariah will get better. Hopefully, Tessa doesn't kiss Daniel again. Who knows? But that's about it for this Y&R review and recap I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this review and recap, give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, Joshua Cooks HRNR, YouTube's new alternative. And follow me on my variety channel on Daily Motion, where I will post the reaction to the Colts versus Steelers game on Sunday. And of course, I will also have the post game here on my YouTube channel on Sunday night after the game. But the reaction will be on Daily Motion, so check that out. And follow me also on my channel on Rumble, where I will continue with the MK11 story mode. So the next parts of that will be coming up soon over on Rumble. So far on YouTube, I have 649 subscribers, almost at 650, one away from 650. So the road to 1K continues. Show your support by subscribing and ring the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when I have a new video uploaded. So again, I want to wish all of you a happy Halloween. Hope you have get lots of candy in your trick-or-treat buckets. So, like I said, I will be watching some horror movies tonight to celebrate Halloween. So, I'll see you again at the end of November when I have my review and recap of Y&R for the month of November and November sweeps. So, be interesting to see what happens. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. This is Joshua Cook, Hot Cinema Sludge's resident VHS enthusiast, signing off, and I am out.